Nah, I just was looking at you. I was just being stupid.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm looking at you like this is your channel.
I'm just being dumb. Hey guys, this is DJ from the Culture War, and we're back. And I have a video with Shawni. I posted 2 videos without her finally, so I actually did what I said I was gonna do. So this I knew she would want to talk about because we had a video about Ray Fisher during the early parts of the investigation. What was that? November? I had to go back and look.
Something like that. Some like November or
I think it was November.
September
It's like early
or October.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So just as we just as I knew what would happen, or more so, I was kind of hoping this would happen. It sounds bad, but Ray Fisher is full of crap, man. If you listen to our last video, we got progressively more mad as the video went on, especially Shawni.
Yep. I mean, when you're smelling your ass as much as Ray Fisher is, I mean, yeah, that's, yeah.
So basically, I just wanted to update her. So Ray Fisher was removed from the Flash movie following the Justice League investigation.
Which is code for, they said, I'm going to need you to log out for me, baby.
So actually, he kind of screwed up. So they basically found in the investigation nothing. It turned up nothing. So he decided that he was going to tweet about Walter Hamada and say that Walter Hamada is the most dangerous kind of enabler. His lies and Warner Brothers PR's failed September 4th hit piece sought to undermine the very real issue of the Justice League investigation. I will not participate in any production associated with him. And he says A greater than E, art over entertainment.
You know when people are really full of it, when they want to use the cop-out of art as a way to explain away their foolishness. And I'm like, no, don't. How are you going to tweet aggressively at your boss, the guy who ultimately decides whether or not you continue your employment here?
This was on the 30th of December.
And man, this dude's head is so far up his own ass because he doesn't have very many like acting credits. This was his first major production, I believe.
He's been in little things.
Yeah.
You would have to go to his
like Wikipedia.
Yeah. He's been in like little things here and there in terms of like on screen.
Yeah.
But nothing.
And he was bad. He was not good.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have anything.
He was
really
one
good.
of the worst parts of the movie for me. I mean, Justice League wasn't very good, period.
Justice League was terrible.
But he was one of the worst parts of the movie for me. Watching him try to lack of emote, I can't even tell at this point, was just really painful.
But it was so weird. It was like he heard Robot Boy with boy pain and was like, he must be
soft robot boy.
Robot Boy with boy pain. He must be quite reserved and non-emotional. Remember when he didn't want to do the booyah?
He didn't want to say booyah, and I was like, sir, I don't think you understand what your job is here or the character you've agreed to play, but okay, sure, why not?
So basically, Warner Brothers said, oh, you don't want to work with anything Walter Hamada does going forward? All right, boy. See ya. Have fun. We just going to remove you. So then after that, when they said that they're going to remove him, he says that he puts out a statement. Actually, let me go to the statement. It's 2 tweets. He's pinned it at this point. And he says, I've received official confirmation that Warner Brothers Pictures has decided to move on from me. The cast of remove me from the cast of The Flash. I strongly disagree with their decision, but it is one that is unsurprising. Despite the misconception, Cyborg's involvement in The Flash was much larger than a cameo. And while I do mourn the lost opportunity to bring Victor Stone back to the screen, bringing awareness to the actions of Walter Hamada will prove to be a much more important contribution to our world. He has not said exactly what Walter Hamada is done, he basically just said Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns said mean things to him. He said, and then he accused Joss Whedon of, and the executives, of having an unnamed, undisclosed actor whitewashed and made their skin lighter. Not whitewashed, but lightened their skin in post-production. And there was nothing affecting him. And we said that. Yeah. We said that as people were trying to say, oh, well, something obviously happened. He's telling the truth. No, this boy understands that past this, because his part in Justice League was so trash, he was never going to probably get anything post DC universe. That's what I believe. And I also think that the Zack Snyder coming back and doing his thing, he thought that he was scot-free. He thought that he could tear the whole thing down.
Because Snyder was hyping him up too. Now, mind you, let's take a step back and look at the greater picture here. Because I looked up Ray Fisher's wiki. And so his only film work is Batman. Apparently, yeah, he had a small cameo in Batman, Superman. Yeah. And then Justice League.
Because remember, he was in the end.
Yeah, it literally says notes, cameo.
Yeah.
Television work. In 2015, he was in the Astronaut Club. He played Captain Edward Dwight in one episode in The Blind. 2019, True Detective. He was in a main role of season 3, and he was in 8 episodes. There's the Zack Snyder's Justice League, deadass, that's what it says, Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's the mini series, yeah, because that's what it is now. It's a mini series. And then in 2021, he'll also be in Women of the Movement. He'll be playing Jean Mobley. And then for theater, remember when I said he was like off Broadway, like 6 streets over?
Yeah, Shawni went in on him.
He was in a play called Fetch Clay, Make Man in 2013, as he played Muhammad Ali. This man doesn't have the clout. He doesn't have the couth. He doesn't have anything to say that he could just come in and just tell Walter Hamada, I don't want to work with you, or any production associated with you. He doesn't have it to say that.
Who is Ray? Who are you?
And then be able to like, I feel like he was shocked when his agent was like, Ray.
No, because his agent didn't do a good job, because his agent let this man run around after the ass the whole time.
Well, to a degree, a lot of people's agents are yes men to them. I feel like no one said to Ray, you need to relax. No one told Ray, you need to put things in the grand scheme. You need to step back and look at the big picture. Because if they did, they would have told Ray he ain't about to get another job after this. Like, this is it. He has nothing else lined up for 2021, and obviously the other thing he has lined up for 2021 right now outside of Justice League, that's it. And he landed that before 2021, because that's getting aired this year.
Yeah.
So, Ray, you have no other projects, theater, television, or movie-wise.
He was in one theater project, right?
One. It says one theater project.
He's listed as one theater with one theater project credit.
This man is not. He's not strong enough. I had joked with DJ earlier that, he'll end up in like a low budget Tyler Perry movie.
Yes, she busting out all the good jokes.
Where they
off
where Tyler Perry writes the movie in 2 days and then films that joint in a week. And then I thought about it.
And pays everybody in chicken wings
and peanuts. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, not even. Because even some of the people in Tyler Perry movies and shows are decent actors. This guy has the acting ability of cardboard. I think I'd rather watch Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie play his role than him.
Plank.
I feel like I would get a little bit, because Plank used to change his facial expressions every once in a while.
Plank would emote. I seen that man. I seen him.
But Ray over here, emote? What is that?
What is that? Acting. Never heard of her.
I just can't. It's this type of entitlement that, to me, is why it's so satisfying when people who are this entitled get humbled, and they never learn anything from it. They think of it as they're the victim and they didn't deserve this. And I'm like, please, if you let the universe continue to humble you, you are not going to like it.
It's not going to be fun for you.
So it's better for you to acknowledge
the
lesson you were being taught and move on from there. But he's not going to do that. Ray's gonna go on and act as though, you know, he's been wronged by DC. He's been wronged by Jeff Johns and Walter Hamada. I just can't.
Hey, you know what's wild though is my girl Gal Gadot. Now I don't necessarily think she's the best Wonder Woman, but you know she had a grievance and she put her grievance forward, which was the scene where Ezra,
the Flash falls on her. Yeah,
Ezra falls on her and like falls in her boobs, and they had to use the whole stunt double because she didn't want to.
She don't got a lot of boob anyway. Like she don't got a lot of titty to titty. You know, like
that's still, but she was uncomfortable. Fine. You were uncomfortable with the situation. You didn't want to do the scene.
So they got her a stunt double.
So they got the stunt double. She did it. It was cool. She aired her grievance. They solved it.
True. And
they apparently they either compensated her somehow or they did something to her satisfaction. She said in the interview that they handled it to her satisfaction. She was good.
So then what's up with Cranky McCrankerson over here? Like what? You know what I think is funny is how the stunt double was like, yeah, I'll let him follow my titties. They titty in for a reason. Like that's what it feels like. No. To me, I feel like, hey, I'll let that little fool follow my titties. That's no big deal, you know.
That little skating boy.
You know, I'll let his little skinny behind fall on the yitties. It's no big deal. Like that's what it feels. That's what that makes me think of. But then there's this one who's all like, I don't know how to emote or act. I'm gonna be mad.
That's because, like we said in the original video, this boy had nothing to stand on. He didn't actually have a grievance. He was just bitching the bitch. I don't know what his end goal was because it doesn't seem to be an end goal.
Oh, his end goal is he ended up getting fired. That's what that is.
Wasn't his end goal. That was the end goal.
That was the end. That was the end. That's where the book caps off. Was he got fired? So
like I said in the first, I think I did say this in the first one. I was like, let me tell you a yarn how this is gonna go. Let me spin you a yarn about how this is gonna go. And look how it went.
Honestly, you know what? Best of luck to him because I'm sure there's gonna be somebody somewhere that'll pick him up for something. I mean, shoot, you got Hilary Swank in some cheap Fatal Attraction movie, for Christ's sake, with Michael Ealy. I'm just like, these two things shouldn't coexist on the same plane. And I love me some Michael Ealy, but in a cheap Fatal Attraction knockoff that looked like the movie was filmed in like 2 weeks with a budget of chewing gum, shoestring, and broken dreams. Like this film looked more low budget than a Blumhouse movie.
I was about to say you sure Blumhouse did it.
No, they didn't do it. And you know what killed me? What killed me was how the director and writer in the movie is a black guy. And he was like, oh, you know, Hollywood didn't want it because I'm black.
Because Corey and them had the interview.
Yes.
Okay, so there's these people that
reviewers.
They're movie reviewers. If you guys don't know them, they're called Double Toasted. It's Corey and then
Martin.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. If you don't know, I don't know if you guys remember. So in the Marvel movie where what was that? Doctor Strange, the guy, remember Carlisle? He worked on Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was there and he interviewed and he explained why they turned the was it the old one?
Something like that.
I can't remember. I can't remember that character's name. Yeah. It's escaping me right now.
But why they made him a her? And
and subsequently not Tibetan.
Not Tibetan. Yeah.
Basically, it was China.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the answer.
Yeah.
But he didn't say that answer. If that interview is floating around, if you want to see that, but that's where that's from, and that's where people heard that from. But anyway, they had the interview with the guy who did the that movie that Shawni is talking about, and it was a whole just circle jerk of.
It was the man the man was like, "Oh, they didn't want the movie because I'm a black director or whatever," and I'm like, "No, they didn't want your movie because it's been done 100 million times in a bunch of different iterations, and none of them will ever be as good as Glenn Close, the Queen, and her original Fatal Attraction. It'll never be as good as that, but they keep trying." And I'm like, that's why nobody wanted your movie, because it's been done a million times, and
better.
And you mean to tell me that you managed to get Hilary Swank, $1 million baby Hilary Swank, Boys Don't Cry Hilary Swank,
looking good
to do? Well, I mean, Hilary's older now, but to do your movie, like I what? Okay, sure, why not?
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me read this part real quick because I want to get this out the way. So it says, on December 30th, 2020, I made it clear I cannot, with clear conscience, participate in any production associated with the current president of DC Films, Walter Hamada. The reasoning behind that declaration was twofold. Walter's purposeful attempt to undermine the Justice League investigation in order to protect his friend and former co-president, Jeff Johns. Walter's attempt to protect himself by contributing to the public dissemination of lies and misinformation about myself and the Justice League investigation, and Warner Brothers Pictures September 4th statement to the Wrap. Now, mind you, that whole thing was basically they put out that statement and they said he ain't say nothing. We are investigating. He is not participating. We don't know exactly what the issue is. We just keep going around in circles. That basically was the statement. If you go back and read it, the statement was essentially he has not made any clear indications of what the problem was. This is all the way back in September 4th. We're still doing this. And I don't know why people believed anything he was saying.
It's the fact that my man called it a hit piece. I'm sleep. He really thought he was getting slandered. He was really
He really was acting like his whole brand, his whole person was just being accosted and just dragged through the mud. My boy's reputation, he said I had a pristine reputation and it is just being dragged through the mud.
Pristine? You didn't have a reputation, sir.
Well, he didn't actually say that. I'm just saying.
I was about to say. I was about to be like, sir, what are you talking about?
He didn't actually say. I'm just saying he basically was saying like they're dragging me and my name through the mud. And I'm like, bro, you have not said what has happened. You continue to not work with the investigators they had. You want a third party, fine, you got a third party investigator, but now you don't want to interview with their investigator. Why don't you have the investigator sit with you and then you interview and what's the word I'm going to say, and you do the interview with them with a third party there and record it. You'd have all the information and whatnot you'd want at that point. Well, you'd have the recording to say if they lied or took your words out of context, or if they say you didn't say anything, you can always say I did say specific things in specific instances and so on and so forth. But you didn't do that. You did not do that.
He had no receipts. He had
none. When my boy came out and said they lightened another actor's skin, he didn't even talk about himself. He was citing somebody else's potential issue as a reasoning
that actor didn't come forward at any point in time with this problem.
He was using that as an example of how he was mistreated, or to show you the type of climate that was on the set. Why did any of you give any credence to this? I know why some of y'all did, because you didn't like Joss, and right now it's not cool to like Joss, and I mean Joss is an asshole, but I know that's why, because when Zack Snyder came out with the Snyder Cut, everybody was dick riding the Snyder Cut like it was going to be. I don't think it's going to be good. I could be wrong. I doubt it's going to be good.
I just want to know why people like Moody Boy Zack Snyder that much. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I
don't know, because of the information that came out about the Snyder Cut versus what Joss Whedon did and the studio and the meddling they did, because that was the third movie they meddled in terms of DC. What was it? First one was Batman v Superman, then Suicide Squad, and I'm talking heavy meddling. Suicide Squad, and then it was the Justice League movie. And now there were extraordinary circumstance because of Snyder's daughter and what happened to her and he having to leave But they were upset about that. So when that happened and people found out, they were all like, release the Snyder Cut. We want the actual version that Snyder was going to put out. Now, it was unfinished, and it's not the actual true version he wanted to put out because he wanted to do 2 movies. But
now we have a miniseries.
Yeah, well, they're going to extend it and milk it for whatever it needs to be. And Zack has free reign to do what he wants at this point, probably. So
Listen. Stan, the superior Snyder. Scott Snyder.
I'd rather have Scott doing it than Zack.
I wish Scott Snyder was out here making movies. That'd be nice.
Well, we don't know how good of a director he is.
That's the bad part. We don't know how good of a director.
I mean, he can write it. It'd be better than anything Zack's gonna put out.
Yeah.
Bear in mind. Bear in mind, Walter's interfering with the Justice League investigation is a completely separate issue than the investigation itself. And while Walter's behavior was not the point of focus for the investigation for Justice League reshoots, his dangerous and enabling actions during the investigation process must be called into account. That boy is basically upset and flailing at everyone. He's breaking everything around him because he's upset that the investigation didn't go the way he wanted. And the claim is Walter did not actually hear out his grievances because he's friends with Jeff Johns.
I feel like there should be a picture of his first statement about this from last year, and then him not going to be in the Flash movie or anything else DC with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
My boy said he don't want to be. You came out. No one said that. No one said any of that. If you had kept your mouth shut, this wouldn't have happened. You came out your house and decided to scream this in front of everybody, okay?
Personally, I think they were going to give him the boot anyway.
I kind of feel... You think he knew the time was coming?
I feel like they were like, you know what? We're shelving this whole like you and the Flash thing for right now, and maybe they gave him the reasons like COVID or whatever.
They gave him the runaround.
And then I feel like he just was like, I think y'all are trying to play me, and then he decided to come out his mouth and say this, and then DC was like, oh, word bet.
You came out your mouth December 30th, and they sat you on the 14th or the 13th. So
I feel like they basically gave him his walking papers, and he, to get in front of it, was like, oh,
maybe.
I'll show y'all.
That post definitely did not help him.
No, it didn't.
And it's not going to help him in the future.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. You're right. It's not going to help him in the future because this doesn't look good. This is bad for business, because what this says to another company, another director, another writer, another casting director, what this says is this guy's unprofessional. Like, you're airing your grievances on Twitter. This isn't, he's not saying
what the grievance is.
He's giving you over here beating around the bush.
He's giving you the bare minimum of what you can do, so you guys run out and ride for him.
Let me tell you something. This first person on the side here talking about some Black Disney prince, talking about some WB is ridiculous as a fellow man of color. Keep fighting Ray. What is that? Why do people do that? Like,
why y'all stand for people that seem to not have the best intentions? Like, why can't you just take a step back and say, all right, when you present me with something concrete, I got you.
It's the whole the whole idea. We have a similar skin color, or we're in a similar minority group. So I give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, stop it. Get some help. Like, you don't need to do that. Because what ends up happening is you end up running behind somebody that's either blatantly wrong, or you find out that they were way off base in versus what they said to what they said other people were saying about them. It's just, stop doing it.
Look at this quote. No one in any profession should have to argue with their employer for their claims of abuse, racism, and discrimination to be taken up the proper chain of command, Fisher writes, and no one in any position of leadership should attempt to dissuade those wishing to report such claims of doing so. Mind you, again, what he said initially was that Joss Whedon talked to him mean, and they brought him into the office, and it was a essentially unpleasant conversation, and it wasn't very nice. This is what this whole thing was. He didn't like the way he was spoken to on a couple of occasions, and it was more so just somebody brought him into the office and said whatever or talked to him.
You know what's wild to me is you go down a little further and this man says, I maintain that Walter Hamada is unfit for this position of leadership, and I am willing at any point to submit to a polygraph test to support my claims against him. What on earth is a polygraph test going to tell us?
Polygraphs aren't 100%. And most of the time, they're left up to the interpretation of whoever's conducting the test.
Let me tell you something. Anytime I hear some fool talk about they want to take a polygraph test, I'm like, yo, shut up. Just shut up. quit talking. And then he over there down, he all the way up at the bottom here talking about the cost of bringing accountability and awareness to Walter Hamada's actions, adding, I'll pay it gladly. Sir, you are not a martyr. This is not a Tyler Perry movie.
Trying to die on this hill.
You are not in Greenleaf. I need for you to pleasantly take a step back from the microphone and have a seat. You take a stand. Oh my gosh. But then he decides he's gotta plug his next project. Women of the Movement, and a quote from the mother of Emmett Till, Mamie Till Mobley. You reach a point in life where you simply must take a stand. You are not,
bro. You are not Emmett Till.
You are not taking.
You are not
the
Emmett Till.
Death of Emmett Till and making. I swear, this is the most tone deaf. If I was one of the producers of this project, I'd be like, yo, don't ever hire Ray Fisher. That is disgusting. That's disgusting.
This man is
you are
equating himself to Emmett
comparing
Till.
What you're going through, your quote unquote workplace grievance, to the death, the brutal death and beating of Emmett Till.
Over a lie. Over a lie of the person, the woman ends up saying later, or has said late in her life, I think she's passed now, where she said that it was a lie. Man got beat, hung. I think they burned him too. Over a lie.
Ray Fisher is gross. It's just don't do this. Don't do it, man. That's not.
It's ridiculous. That's.
That shameless plug was really, really in poor taste.
Mm-hmm.
That was really in poor taste.
My responsibilities are and have been to try and protect those who are brave enough to lead their voice to the Justice League investigation. I don't know who it would seem like the only person that backed you was Jason Momoa, and to use little power to possess to ensure that the workplace behavior exhibited during the Justice League reshoots and the investigation never happens again. I just think it's funny that the only person that publicly backed you was Jason Momoa. You got a whole cast of homeboys. None of them backed you?
Yeah, no one else. Not that I saw of. I didn't see anybody else.
No one publicly said anything.
I mean, Ben Affleck hasn't said a word. Gal Gadot, I don't believe.
I don't even think Ben really care about this project anymore, to be honest with you.
I don't think Ben wanted to continue being Batman anyway. Once he realized that people were going to ask him about Batman, he was like, well, wait a minute. Y'all ain't still asking Clooney about Batman because that movie wasn't good. We love, those of us who do love the movie, love it from a standpoint of it's so bad that you love it. But nobody's going to ask Clooney about Batman at this point. Clooney's gone on to do a lot of different projects and pretty much established that, Batman was a mistake. Batman and Robin was a mistake. So, yeah, Ben, what did you think was going to happen when you play a character like Batman?
He seemed out of it. But so
what did he want? For people to ask him questions about his riveting role in The Accountant?
It seemed like what basically we're going in a
You remember The Accountant?
Yeah. The Accountant wasn't a bad movie though.
No, but can we talk about how Ben Affleck played an autistic man?
Yeah. Oh, let that have happened.
Autistic? Yeah, he was autistic.
Let that have happened in 2020.
Crazy ass.
What's
his name? What's the name of that actor from The Punisher? I love him too. I'm blanking. He plays Shane.
Shane, man.
Oh gosh.
I'm blanking on his name. I'm blanking on.
Damn it! I love him. He always plays such a great crazy guy.
Yeah. So I think we're good. I think we basically covered what. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this quote again.
This is in such poor taste. That's in very,
looking at the quote.
very, very, very poor taste.
Okay, so I'm gonna sit here and laugh my ass off. Okay, all right. So thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support that I have been getting. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but there have been quite a few people to watch my stuff, and I'm very happy. Even though it's only like a couple people, it's still a lot to me. So I keep looking at this quality.
It's just not.
So again, thank you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I do have my BitChute. I have created it. I'm trying to get the videos to transfer over. I think I'm gonna have to contact somebody at the support for BitChute to make sure that the transfer's going, because they said they had to manually review it. So to make sure that I'm the owner of the account and I'm not impersonating someone. So they said I can speed it up, or they say you can speed it up by contacting them. So I'm probably gonna have to do that. But the BitChute is there if you do want to get off of YouTube and you don't, you want to use alternative platforms like I was talking about in my second previous video. video two videos ago. There we go. There we go. I got it out. I got my tongue to start working. But anyway, yeah. So if you want to do that, and then I'll have my mines and things like that. So other alt tech is coming. I want to get the BitChute going before I go to like Odyssey or any other video platforms. So, yep. All right. Thank you guys again, and I'm out.
See ya.
Bye.